If you are in competition with anyone, you are not standing in your highest self. We're going to get into it. Hi, welcome back. I'm Joe. This is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are in competition with anyone, you are still not understanding your worth. When you are seated in your highest self, then you understand you are no longer above anyone. You understand that you are simply paving your own lane. You are standing in that seat, fixated on what is in front of you. All the divine is asking for you to create, and you could care less about what the people around you are doing. When you have reached that level, congratulations, you are finally standing in your highest self. You are standing saturated in self-love, and you finally understand your worth. When we are in competition, and this can mean any type of competition, right? I mean, with the exception of the Olympics, right? That's good competition. If you're an NBA player, NFL player, soccer player, WNBA, that is work. That is work that comes from your highest self. But I'm speaking about the competition that comes from ego. The competition where you're at work and you're looking at what those around you are doing. You're looking at and thinking that those around you can possibly come from your spot. Or perhaps you are continuously doing things out of trying to one up another. That is all ego-based. That is all fear-based. And that is less than your highest self. When you are aligned with Source, which is your highest self, what it looks like is, I just want to better myself every day. I just want to be in competition with the person I was yesterday. I saw that I did my best yesterday. How can I now improve that even by 1% today? You are fixated only on yourself. That's what it means to keep our eyes on God. When we keep our eyes on God, we're actually just keeping our eyes on self because God is living within us. So you're just so consumed, so submerged with the powerful work that you're creating, you don't have time to look up and see what your neighbor is creating. You don't have time to look up and see what the next person in the other lane is doing. No, I'm loving what I'm doing right here. I know that this is going to be great. I know that I'm in my purpose. I'm in my spiritual bag. I'm in alignment with God. And I'm excited for the work I'm doing here. And I am excited for where that's going to take me tomorrow. So you're just fixated on yourself. You're fixated on God. But when we are continuously looking at what a friend is doing, what someone else on Instagram is doing, what someone else on TikTok has created, it's misalignment. That is misalignment. Alignment says I am worthy and the work that I'm doing is important. My voice is powerful. I have something to say and it is meant to resonate with those that it's meant to be. Doesn't mean that we're going to be for everybody, and that's okay. Nobody is for everybody. God is far too creative for that. But you understand, as you're seated in your true self, your true expression, when you are in your authenticity, then you are in your highest self. And from that seat, you attract everything. You attract everything you need. You're going to make sure that you're met with the people that you need to be met with. You're going to create every resource that you need. And you understand that even when things look like, quote unquote, that miss you, you know those are not your things. So you essentially haven't missed anything. No one can come for what's yours. No one can take what is meant for you. So there is nothing to compete with. Let me try to explain that a different way. When we understand our true worth, we know that that is magnetic, that is electrifying. And you understand that everything you need will be given to you on a silver platter the moment you need it to continue the great work that you're doing. When you're aligned with Source, when you're in your highest self, you understand that. And you understand while you're seated there that God is always moving out of your way. Those that are not serving you, the opportunities that are not meant for you. So then you understand that if anyone looks like they can come for an opportunity that is yours, you understand that if it's not mine, then they are welcome to have it and they will take it. But I understand what it really means when someone takes, quote unquote, takes an opportunity that I think is meant for me. The truth is, it was never mine. It was never meant for me. It was less than what I am worthy of. So if someone comes and takes that promotion, then you can understand, oh, thank you, God. That clearly wasn't meant for me. I don't know what curveball that person is going to experience because they've been accepted or they've received that, what I thought would possibly be mine, that was for them. I'm not to concern myself with the road that they're going. I just know that if it missed me, then it was never mine, because what is mine, what is truly mine, never misses me. I know that sometimes we think, right? We think that we're up for that promotion and we want it. We worked hard for it. But when we are aligned with our source, when we are aligned with our worth and what we know is true, that God is saying He is always giving us what is ours, then if we don't get that promotion, we have to understand the truth. It was never meant for us. And when we respond, or I'll say this differently, when you're misaligned, you react. When we react out of that should have been ours or that was meant for me, then what we're doing is, for one, you're in a misalignment, right? Because you have seen it differently. You are seeing it incorrectly. It was not yours. If it was yours, you would have it. So understand that the detour is an added protection to actually bring you what you truly deserve, which is better than what has gone. When we are in competition, we are in a scarcity mindset. We are thinking that someone could possibly be better than us, more profound than us, and can possibly take from us, leaving us in lack. Do you understand how that is a poor mindset? Because for one, no one is better than you, and you are not better than anyone. Everyone is simply on different levels or the same levels. It's all frequency, right? And so we can only attract, or we attract according to the frequency we're on. So for instance, if you are on a lack frequency, which is the frequency of in competition with someone, fearing that someone can come after you, fearing that someone is better equipped than you for this role, then understand, that is lack. And you're on that frequency of lack. And on that frequency of lack, you're going to attract only what's on that frequency, which is lack. And what does lack look like? It looks like, yeah, less money. It looks like unfulfilled relationships, unfulfilled work. It's going to look like being in discontentment with your home, with your lifestyle, with your health, with yourself, because that exists on the frequency of lack, right? So our work should be simply within ourselves to raise our frequency to what we do want, to raise our frequency to upper levels so that we could attract all the things that are living on those upper level frequencies. So for instance, if you are on the frequency of love, which is the highest frequency, if you are on the frequency of understanding, I'm simply to keep my eyes on God. I'm simply to just do and give away the gifts that God has for me. I'm simply on the frequency of healing all the past trauma. I'm simply on the frequency of being better than myself yesterday. Then you are on those higher level frequencies, and you're now saturated in the frequency of love, which brings everything. It brings riches in every area, richness of your health, richness in your finances, richness in the work that you're doing, richness in purpose, richness in better relationships. And so then you begin to attract better because you have done the inside work to ascend yourself to those upper levels. The work has always got to be within us. When we are focused on what someone else is doing and we're simply trying to force a reflection because, someone else is doing that, and on the outside, right, it looks like, we want that life or those things. So we're going to try to force a reflection to try to match and compete with them. Then understand, no, you are nowhere near the frequency that you need to be on to attract what you need, to attract that fulfilling life. The work needs to go inward. You need to look inside of yourself. So I'm here to tell you, if you are in a space where you are competing with anyone, you are competing with a past love, you are competing with that classmate, you are competing with that coworker, you're competing with that person on TikTok, you are already misaligned. It's already misalignment. You will not go far. You will not create anything that will actually last, that will actually go beyond, because you're not even operating at the level that has enough power to catapult you into greatness, right? It has to be within. You need to learn to just focus on what's in front of you, the work that you are doing. And as you have your head down, focused in on the work that you're supposed to be creating, focusing in on creating better for yourself, which is just creating better energy within yourself, which is just healing, focusing on the God within you. Before you know it, you'll be so busy doing that, you will look up and you will find other people trying to compete with you. And it's not like you want it because you're just so focused in yourself. But then you'll be able to see with your third eye the aura of everybody, the aura of those who are simply trying to catch up to you now. Isn't that interesting how life changes when you are just head down, paving your own lane? That's what it means when we listen to the greats and they're just saying, I just created my own lane. What they're saying is, I was just focused on what I was doing. I was loving what I was doing. And before I knew it, I was living the dream life because I was not distracted, looking to the left or looking to the right, peeking over the other person's fence, trying to see if they're ahead of me or if they're behind me or how far I've come, gauging it with the other person. That is garbage. Gauge your success based on who you were yesterday and now who you are today. Gauge your success on the life you lived last year versus the life you're living this year. Gauge your success on how quickly your prayers are answered. That's honestly how I gauge my success. My prayers are answered instantly, and I'm not even batting an eye when I say instantly. I pray for clarity, and clarity comes. When I'm ill, when I'm healing, I pray for healing, and healing comes. And every time that happens, I just say, God, you love me. You love me. But what it is you're so deeply aligned with God, with Source. So then you understand that everything that's coming to you is meant to serve you, whether you perceive it initially as good or bad, uncomfortable or comfortable, whatever is coming, you know that it's a gift from God. It's coming to stretch you, it's coming to grow you, it's coming to serve you. So from that space, God can just release all the prayers, the moment you ask, because God knows God understands you are in total alignment. So what comes when you're totally aligned with God is instant answered prayers. The moment you ask, you expect it because you're expecting everything that comes to you to serve you. So then when you ask for something in prayer, then that comes too because you expect it. You understand how God operates. You're in alignment with Source. I remember once I was in Greece. This was last summer, as a matter of fact, and I get kind of, motion sickness. And I was on a long tour in some of the most beautiful waters I have ever been in. It was Zakynthos, Greece. If you haven't heard of it and if you haven't visited, go now before it really blows up on the map. It is, in my opinion, even far more beautiful than Santorini, Greece, which was the most heavenly, most beautiful, breathtaking place I've ever been to in my life. But Zakynthos was like Gatorade blue waters. It was white mountains, caves. It was incredible. And it's still not overly populated with tourism yet, but it will be for sure. So go now and enjoy it while you can without the overcrowdingness. But as I was venturing there on what was going to be a 3-hour tour, it did occur to me like, oh, I intend, not to get sick. And actually, I hoped I didn't intend, which is why immediately I got, some motion sickness immediately, like the boat had just left. We're not even 10 minutes into the tour, and immediately I started feeling nausea. But I know that God was serving it for this moment right here. As I began to experience the motion sickness, and I knew if I dealt with this, it was going to possibly ruin this incredible moment on these most heavenly waters. And so I literally put my head down and I said, God, you are the only one that can heal this sickness. I ask for you to heal it now. I promise you. Instantly, I started to feel like dryness in my belly, and it was moving upwards. It was like coating my belly from the bottom up. It was like drying. And within 90 seconds, I was completely healed. No motion sickness, as God as my witness. And I felt better in like a minute and a half. And I immediately, then I knew God was serving up a miracle. He served up the opportunity to show me how quickly my prayers would be answered when I trust, when I know, when I'm aligned with Him. And immediately I turned to my friend who I was on the tour with and I said, oh my goodness. I said, do you know I was getting nauseous? And then I asked God to remove the illness, that He was the only one. And instantly I started feeling this dryness. And now I feel better. And my friend literally looked at me and said, that's what motion sickness is. It's like moisture in your belly. And so isn't that interesting? I didn't know that. And I still haven't Googled that to make sure that that's a fact. But I thought, look at God. He could have instantly just removed the sickness, right? But He allowed me to feel what He was doing inside me. He allowed me to feel that He was actually drying that inside of me. I got that sensation. Essentially, God was serving up miracle after miracle, the miracle of answered prayers, the miracle of me being able to feel the sensation of Him healing within inside of me, the miracle of me being able to tell a friend that look at what happened within just this last minute and a half. And my friend confirming like, oh, that dryness you feel is that motion sickness. And the dryness is removing, the liquid, the fluid that creates the motion sickness. Like it was just miracle after miracle after miracle because I'm standing in alignment with God. So yeah, the message here, friends, is that we got to get to this foundation. The foundation is this. Are you in competition with anyone? If you answer that as yes, you have work to do. You have to go right back to the source. You got to get the foundation right. Don't go any further. Don't try to grow your Instagram any further. Don't try to grow the business any further. Don't try to get your TikTok followers up any further. Don't try to move the subscriptions any further. Stop right where you are. Go into deep meditation, into prayer with God, and ask Him to reveal where the misalignment is so that you can align with source, which is truth, which is your worth. Once you correct that, you will explode. The subscribers will come in. The followers will come in. The right people will come in. The right connections will come in, and you will go further, faster than what you're trying to do on your own strength, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with your neighbor, trying to keep up with that other account. That's why I say stop right there. Because what you're doing when you're competing with someone is you're forcing an outcome. You are actually striving harder. You are working harder than working smarter. You want to work smarter and in turn go further, then stop right now. Stop the competition and go within. You are misaligned in this moment. It's okay. We have all been there. Absolutely been there. Falling in and out of alignment all the time. But your work needs to be within. Ask God to reveal where the disconnection is. Ask God to reveal where you feel less than. I know that's hard to hear because we all feel like we love ourselves, right? We all feel like we're worthy, but we say that. But if we only truly feel worthy, this is how you can gauge it. This is how you know for sure. You can tell if you feel truly worthy of everything God has for you if you are not competing with another soul. Also, you can tell how deeply you love yourself if you are not competing with another soul. Also, you can tell how deeply you're in alignment with God when you're not competing with another soul. There you go. If you have answered yes to any of those, you are misaligned with Source. You are still not loving yourself enough. You do not feel you are worthy enough. You are a bit misaligned with God. We have work to do. And as we enter this new year, got to get this foundation right. Because you should only be competing with the person you were yesterday. Thank you so much for joining this convo. Make sure that you are subscribed on YouTube. Thank you so much to all our YouTube subscribers. If you scroll in and out and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you're subscribed there. Also, thank you if you're watching this on Spotify or Apple. Make sure that you're following along there. And drop a comment. What are you doing in the new year? What intentional habits are you going to create in 2026 so that you can make sure you ascend in this new year? When we hear new year, new me, I'm here to tell you nothing changes if nothing changes. But we have an opportunity right now to get the foundation right. I'm praying for you. You have my prayers every time anyone subscribes. I ask that God just increases their territory, that they grow in deeper love with God, and in turn, you fall deeper in love with yourself. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat again real soon. Bye for now.